It's Reija, and it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. All the links to the Goodreads group and the host channel will be down in the description, so please check them out. But without further ado, let's go over the topic, which is forgettable books. So basically, books that you read but weren't like the best or the worst and just didn't leave any kind of lasting impression. So let's get started. First up on my list is Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day by Winifred Watson. I read this last year for the Booktubeathon, and I have to say it was okay while I read it, and it takes place in a single day where this woman, Miss Pettigrew, goes to a job interview and is set up with the wrong job and has the time of her life during that day, an adventure, if you will. And it was okay, but to be honest, I read this 6 months ago and I can't recall too many of the details, which isn't what usually happens to me. If I've really liked a book, usually I can recall things pretty easily. I probably won't unhaul it because I bought this from Persephone Books in London, and this is a kind of memento from that trip. But suffice to say, I probably won't be rereading this anytime soon because it just didn't really click with me. Next up on my list is A Natural History of Dragons by Mary Brennan, and this is pretty much the same deal. I liked the premise so much. I was expecting a kind of adventure with dragons and a lot of exploration of dragon lore and dragon anatomy, and then it kind of was more about relationship drama and smugglers, and that wasn't exactly what I signed up for, and I didn't really get the feeling that I want to go back and read the rest of the series, even though the covers are amazing. But that doesn't really inspire me to read the rest of the series. I might go back to it at some point, but this first book was kind of didn't leave a lasting impression to me. Third up on my list is The Vintner's Luck by Elizabeth Knox. This was on my shelf for years before I finally read it at the start of last year. And this book is kind of bizarre. It tells the life story of this young vintner. It's set during the Napoleonic Wars in France, and there's a relationship between this vintner and an angel, and a mystery that's happening in the village where girls are getting murdered. And that's about all I can remember from it. This one I will probably unhaul when I'm next going through my shelves. Fourth up on my list is Ivanhoe by Walter Scott. This takes place in England during the time of Richard Lionheart and Prince John, so it's set during the same time as Robin Hood, which to me is the more memorable tale. Like, I can't remember much of anything from Ivanhoe except that there is a guy and he has a castle, and if I remember correctly, at one point he has to prove his archery prowess by shooting an apple that's on his son's head. And I'm not even sure if I remember that from the book or the dozens of adaptations I've seen. And last up on my list, I have some Finnish flavor, and that is Ulvova Mylläri by Arto Paasilinna or Howling Miller. And this is kind of the same thing as with Ivanhoe. I've read the book, and I've also seen a play and a movie, and I can't even really remember what happens in the play and the movie. And it's just so forgettable that the forgettableness follows through to the adaptations as well. There's this Miller who everyone in his town thinks is a little bit crazy because he gets lovesick and howls at the moon or something. It's a bizarre book. as are many of Arto Paasilina's books. He has a habit of doing really dark and humorous prose that's set in the Finnish countryside or Finnish small towns. And it's really quaint. I have enjoyed many of his books, but this one just was kind of eh. And there you have it. These are all the forgettable books that I could come up with. I have to say this was a really hard topic because I don't tend to read that many forgettable books, or if I do, they are very well forgotten. But if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!